Hey everyone, welcome back to Colorful Indian. I hope that you're having a great week. Today is so exciting because we're jumping into the Dirty Martini palette by Glamlight. And this palette, wow, there's just so much that I want to say about this, but I'm gonna hold my tongue until the end. So yeah, you're gonna find out what I think about it. So today we've got the unboxing, we've got the swatches on 2 skin tones inside a room as well as outside, and of course we have the 4 tutorials. So this is gonna be a really fun video. On my end, I've just been, watching as autumn is gradually going into winter. The temperatures have been getting a lot colder over here, and today was a really lovely morning because I opened my window and I saw a blue jay. It was just sitting over there on the tree, and I was like, wow, that's such a beautiful, vibrant blue. And the interesting thing is I never would have seen it like with, autumn, because the trees really are just so beautiful, like the colors. It's like I really thought that these trees, were all photoshopped, the vibrancy of the colors, until I actually saw it for myself, and everything it's real. That vibrant red that you see, it is real. There's no Photoshop. It's just so beautiful, and the trees are just gorgeous. The tones are just amazing, and I really loved the fall themed palettes that I got to try. I really thought that they were so true to their colors, like especially the Simply Posh Cosmetics. Like when I saw the palette, I was like, okay, I know that these colors are usually associated with fall, but I didn't expect it to be so correct. And when I just looked at the trees and the leaves, I was like, wow, this is beautiful. It's definitely my favorite season. Absolutely stunning. So lovely to watch. And of course the nature here is just amazing. So yeah, as someone who loves nature, I feel like this is exactly, yeah, what people would like to see on a holiday, All of that being said, let's just jump right into the unboxing. I don't think that the colors from the Dirty Martini palette are exactly like for fall. I mean, I think you probably could do a couple of fall themed looks with this, but yeah, let's just stick to, jumping into that unboxing so that you get to see what this palette is all about. Alright, so this over here is the Dirty Martini palette. We're gonna open that right now. Again, taking my knife just to make this whole thing easier. Okay, this one came out pretty easily, so now we're just gonna open that, and this is the green palette. Okay, so Dirty Martini is all things green, and I'm very excited to see it. Again, this is what the palette looks like at the back. It's got nutrition facts. All of their palettes have this at the back. This is a really pretty palette. As you can see, the shades are just gorgeous. I think that there are a couple of shades, like these browns, that could have probably gone into the chocolate martini, but I don't know, maybe she's put them in there. Maybe these shades are there, so that you can just build on your depths of color and everything. But I really like that green olive shade over there. These are the colors close up, as you can see. I really like this green olive shade over here. It's just very pretty, and I'm actually wondering if, that really bright green in the pink margarita palette should have actually been part of this as well, because this is such a green themed palette, and it would have just been really exciting to see that there. But no worries, we're gonna just go through all of these now and see what they look like. We're going in with the first 4 shades. This is Dirty Martini over here. And then we've got On the Rocks over here, just this gorgeous shimmer shade. And then we've got Just a Splash, another lovely creamy shimmer, and Chilled. And now we're going in with the next 4 shades. So High Class, which is this amazingly stunning, shade. I just love that color. And we've also got Gin. Wow, this is really beautiful. Loving this shade. And then we have Classic. So you can see that she's definitely added a lot of teals over here. Very interesting combination. And Vodka Teeny, which is a gorgeous lime green. And you can see that these shimmers are just really creamy, really beautiful. So far I'm really loving it. And now we're going in for the next 4 shades. So I've got Green Olive, which is this vibrant green shade over here, and I'm just dipping in to get a bit more of that. You can see how it looks on my skin. And then I'm going in next with Crisp, which is kind of like a gray shimmer, very interesting color, but I can see that it's got bits of green sparkles in there as well, so that's very pretty and matches with the whole theme. And then we're coming into like a darker green blue shade. I think this would be really nice for just blending out those teals. So I definitely think that that's been put in there, you know, with intention. And then we have Garnish, another matte green shade, which is also very pretty, I think. But the mattes are not looking as creamy as I'd like them to be so far. All right, and we have come to the last three shades, which are Extra Dirty, which is this brown matte shade over here. And it's kind of like a brown I would definitely match with my green, so I like that she's put this color in. And then there's Olive Lover. Oh, this one's very, very smooth. Like when I put my finger there, that was just such a smooth application, so definitely excited to use that. And Dry Vermouth, which is this green matte over here. So you can see that, you know, the palette definitely has a theme. Colors are very well thought of. These are the full swatches of the Dirty Martini palette, as you can see. So what we're gonna do now is do the dual skin tone swatch for you, as well as show you what these colors look like in normal daylight. This is what the colors look like in the sun. They're absolutely gorgeous. I think the shimmers once again are just winning for me. I really, really love the way that they are looking. So now that this is done, we're gonna move on to the tutorials. Hey, so welcome to the first tutorial. I just wanted to show you the palette because I can see that there are these 4 shades, 1, 2, 3, 4, that are so pretty, and I think that I'm going to be starting off the Dirty Martini with a teal colored look. So yeah, we're going to be doing that right now. Let's start off with the shade Classic, which is this really, really pretty matte teal that you can see over here. Yeah, let's take this and we're just going to put it right over there. Oh, this is very, very pigmented, guys. Just look at that. Oh, gorgeous shade. So I'm just going to take that and I'm just putting it in the outer corners because I kind of want this to be like a transition shade. And then I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna build depth using another matte teal shade, which is slightly darker. So I'm doing this first. I'm gonna take that color and I'm just gonna come right over here at the end. So we're gonna build a depth over there. And then we're just gonna blend that out very, very gently because I wanna make sure that this looks really pretty. So yeah. I'm just using tapping motions right now with my big blending brush, as you can see, and I am gently moving it to the center of my eye as well as I do this. I'm taking a clean blending brush and I'm just going to go in there and blend this out. And I'm going to use circular motions to do this because I don't want the color to be saturated too much, like at the beginning where you can see. I saw the brown shade Extra Dirty and I think that I kind of just want to apply it right there just as an experiment. So I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to try working that somehow into just the end over there. It's probably gonna get covered up because I'm planning on doing a cut crease, but yeah, just wanted to see what this might look like if I, you know, deepen it a bit more. Right, so I went in and I kind of cleaned up my eye a little bit and I'm just gonna go into a very quick half cut crease right over there. So we're going into the very first shimmer shade, which is Gin, and it is so pretty. So we're just gonna take that and I'm gonna pat it right over here in my cut crease. You can see that it's coming on pretty light because I didn't actually pick up a lot of pigment with my brush. Right, and now I'm going in with On the Rocks, which is the second shimmer shade. It is a gorgeous mint kind of like teal green, and oh, I just love it. It is so pretty and it's adding just the highlight that I wanted to add to my eyes. I I absolutely love this shade. Did you see how easy it was to just get that shade on there and then to just blend it in with the other one? Wow, I love this. I'm taking the second shade that I used, I'm just gonna pack it right over here. I just wanna have that blended out a bit. Okay, and you can see that this is what it looks like. I'm so happy with the way that this looks, honestly, I really am. I also took Mix It Up and I put it like underneath my eyes. So this is the kind of blending that I wanted to see in the wine palette that I just wasn't able to get, but I'm very, very happy that it's not the case for the Dirty Martini and that this is actually working so well. I just wanted to show you what the makeup looks like after a day out. So I actually went out and I didn't actually get to finish the look well. So this is what it looks like, and you can see that a lot of the glitter has actually just disappeared and there's so many cracks in the makeup, and I'm just gonna redo, you know, my face and then I will show you what it looks like. But I thought it was pretty interesting seeing this because I had used, you know, a makeup base, and despite that, in about the span of 5 hours, this is what the colors looked like. And this is with the P. Louise base, by the way, and that's not really supposed to happen. So this is the final look, and I basically wasn't able to finish the look immediately because I had to go out. And what I noticed was when I went out, and I had put setting spray, by the way, the glitter actually, like, sorry, not the glitter, the shimmer actually had started to kind of dissolve into my eyes. So I'm not really sure if maybe I had actually applied too much moisturizer today, but generally when you put on the P. Louise base, that's not really something that's supposed to be happening. It's supposed to just keep your eyeshadow there like the whole day and just, you know, make the color more vibrant. So that was a little disappointing to see. However, I absolutely love these shades and I felt like I just love this color combination. Dirty Martini so far. The shades that I have used are, you know, both shimmers and mattes. I've used 6 colors. One of the shimmers is not very evident because I used it just like on my brow bone. I will probably be using it in one of my other looks in a more obvious manner. But yeah, so far I just love the colors. I love the pigmentation. I think the blending is awesome for the mattes. I didn't have problems there. The shimmers are super easy to use. Yeah, so I'm really trying to figure out what happened with the shimmers because I wasn't expecting it to kind of like just become, you know, very blotchy and to see, you know, parts of the brown under my eye. So I'm wondering if I actually moisturized my eye a little bit too much today. I'm definitely going to be seeing how that plays out as I try out my other looks, but so far in terms of colors, I'm in love. I absolutely love these colors. I'm so happy that she put them into the Dirty Martini palette. I was absolutely waiting to try this out because I've seen so many people creating gorgeous looks with this palette and it's just stunning. So I'm really excited to get into the second look. So let's jump into the second tutorial, and you know, I'm gonna go for pretty obvious combinations here because the palette itself has some lovely color groups that I have already seen. Like for example, I saw all the teals. I did the teals for the first look and I'm so happy that I used them. I really love the colors, like don't get me wrong, I'm really in love with them, and I can see other color combinations that, you know, are just calling out to me, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. So I'm going to be going in with Dirty Martini itself, which is this really pale green, and I'm just gonna put it right there at the top just to kind of build color, and I'm just gonna take it the same way I did for the first look and I'm just gonna blend that out right at the top. You can see that a lot of color is coming off my brush over there, but that's fine. This is a very pretty green color. It's definitely like very cute. I like this color and I'm excited for the second look, so I hope you are too. I can definitely see that we're gonna have fun with this palette just from looking at the colors. Right, and next I'm gonna go in with Garnish. I think that would be a beautiful color to just go along with this look. It's gonna be a very olivey green look that we're doing today, and this is a matte shade, and I'm using a smaller blending brush from BH Cosmetics, and I'm just gonna take that and I'm just gonna start blending that in with the shade that I applied first, which was Dirty Martini. So you can see that it's just very, very slightly darker than the Dirty Martini shade, which is exactly what I wanted because that is how we blend. I'm just gonna take that, use my circular motions and just blend it there in the crease. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. If you feel that the lighter shade has disappeared, you can just go over that again with the, you know, lighter shade. Because I am probably gonna be doing a half cut crease again for this. And as you can see, it's working well. I'm not having fallout so far from the first two shades, so it's going well. And I feel like it's giving that very, very subtle gradient effect, which is what I like. So now we're going in with another matte shade, which is Dry Vermouth. I just want to get, you know, more depth into my eye, and I'm taking a smaller blending brush. I'm just going to add that right there at the edge. And again, I'm going to use circular motions to kind of just blend that in with the shades that I had applied before that. As you can see, it is definitely like a much darker green actually than the previous two shades that I have applied. And I'm just gonna put that right at the end over there. So this is basically what you call a half cut crease because you're not doing the entire eye. Now I'm going in with Green Olive, which is a very, very bright shade of green, and I'm gonna use a flat brush to pick it up because I want to be precise, and I'm just gonna add that to my look. And I'm tapping this matte color onto the area I created my cut crease on, as you can see right over here. And it seems to be working pretty okay. There's a little bit of fallout, I did take a bit, and also I'm using a flat brush, so you can expect that if you're doing the same. Okay, so I think once you're happy with the color payoff, it's time to start adding in your shimmers. I'm just gonna go over this a bit more until I'm satisfied. Yep, so I think that right now this is okay for me. Right, so now I'm just taking Dry Vermouth and I'm putting it right over here just to kind of blend these two colors in so that you don't see that rough edge over there. You can see that the blending stays at the edge over there. I'm not bringing it all the way in because I don't want to. Right, and now I'm going in with Vodkatini, which is this gorgeous green shimmer, and I'm just taking an angled brush and I'm adding it right there. And it is a beautiful shade, as you can see. Oh my goodness, just look at that color. This is so pretty. I love this color. It's really, really gorgeous. And I did get a good amount of product onto my brush, so yeah, I'm very, very happy with the payoff. I'm not seeing fallout, and I'm, you know, and as stated, use an angled flat brush if you can, because it's just a bit easier. Or even if you don't have an angled one, any flat brush will be fine. So I'm just doing this to add that additional pop to my makeup because I thought that it would look really, really pretty. And I've kind of covered most of the other one, but I just want that transition. So you can see that I took the color from here to like the center of my eyelid, and you can see a little bit of that matte shade right over there. I'm taking some of that Olive Lover shade and I'm just putting it right over here as a highlight, just to kind of show you how it contrasts with the other shimmer shade. And you can see that it's a darker green shimmer, right, just by looking at it right over there. And yeah, and I'm just gonna put a little of that on the top. Hey everyone, so this is the result from the second tutorial. I went completely different from the first one. As you can see, it is a apple green kind of look. I'm so excited because this is such a pretty color combination. I have to say that working with all the shades was relatively easy, didn't face any issues, but again, as I wore this makeup look for a couple of hours just to test out the durability, I felt that, you know, some of the shimmers started getting into my crease again, similar to the teals, but color-wise it is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. It just needs a little bit of touch-up every now and then, and maybe even a setting spray, which I have not yet used. So like I use setting spray for my face but not for my eyes, so I'm actually considering dipping into setting spray along with the shimmer to just, you know, kind of make that stay on my eyes. And I'm going to be using that for the third tutorial, so stay tuned because we do have 2 more looks to go. But so far I'm really enjoying using this palette. I just think that it is so gorgeous, and I'm so happy that, you know, the second look does not look anything like the first look. Like the colors are completely different. I'm just so happy with the blending as well. As you saw, like using, you know, the right brushes and just the right techniques, you can see how, you know, it makes such a big difference. So I tried a different technique today. So before we hop on to the third tutorial, I want to just share something with you about blending your eyeshadow, because this is something that I learned and I felt that it was a lot easier to actually blend my shades in. So the first thing, of course, is, you know, the circular movements that you do when you're blending. That's really important if you want to get that seamless blend. And the other thing is that you need a variety of blending brush sizes. So the ones that I'm using right over here are from BH Cosmetics, and these ones are pretty big. The first two that you can see over here, they're quite big, but this one is slightly smaller. And what I did today was I used my bigger brushes for the lighter colors, and as I came towards the darker color, I reduced the size of my blending brush. So this is something that I learned from an account called Blend Bunny, and she has actually created these gorgeous palettes that I am dying to try. I have not gotten my hands on them, but she came up with a brush set that actually makes it so easy to blend out your makeup. And I'm definitely going to be getting her brushes at some point and her palettes, because it's been designed in such a way that it teaches you how to blend. As you can see here in this picture, you can see that, you know, the blending brushes are of different shades, and basically the lighter shade is for the lighter shades that you use. So when you go in for lighter shades, you use the bigger brushes, and when you use darker colors, you use smaller brushes. And basically I tried out this technique today just because of her, because I saw it pop up on my Instagram. So I'm really grateful for, you know, her knowledge and just learning from her. And I just wanted to share that with you because I thought it's such a game changer, like when you learn how to properly blend. Because normally, like, I know sometimes I get my blends right, but most of the time I'm just winging it. I don't actually have a proper method, but I am the kind of person who loves having proper techniques and methods to actually like blend out my, you know, eyes. So I think that having her brushes, because they're colored in a way that helps you blend, I think that's such an awesome thing, because this way you can't forget. Like sometimes I actually forget that, you know, oh, I actually need to use like the bigger blush for blending out. And you know, like I have heard of this technique before, but I just think that she kind of made it sink in, and I think that that's fantastic. So really happy that she has, you know, released those brushes. And now that my rambling about blending and brushes is over, we can jump into tutorial 3, because, you know, I still feel like there's so much potential in this palette. Like I'm so excited still. I hope that you are, because seriously, this palette has gotten me so pumped up to try like more looks. I'm very happy about it. So yeah, let's get our brushes ready, get your blending sponges and all of the stuff that you need, and yeah, we're going right there now. Alright, so I'm going in with Extra Dirty, and I'm just going to be putting it right here in the crease. I'm using a smaller blending brush. I'm just going to tap that right over here. You can see that the color is very pigmented, and this blending brush is from e.l.f. by the way. It's about $1 I think at Walmart. And I think it's been working pretty well, so I think I'll be sticking with it for some time. I'm taking the shade Garnish, which is a green. You've seen me use it in the previous tutorial, and I'm just gonna blend that in with this shade that I put over here. And I just want to get a really pretty blended effect over here with these two colors, because I really think that they go well together. And I'm taking my same brush that I used, which is the smaller blending brush from e.l.f., and I'm just trying my best to stay to the outside corners of the shade. It's not as easy as it looks. And now I'm going in with Dirty Martini, which is the lightest matte shade in this palette, and I'm just going to be blending that in right over there at the top, filling in all those extra spaces that you can see. Alright, so now I'm going in with the color Chilled, which is this gorgeous shimmer shade, and it's very interesting because it kind of looks like a pink. It looks like a brown from some angles too. It's just a very, very interesting shade, and it kind of has like gold and green sparkles in it, and that's the reason why I'm adding it right over here next to the brown shade that I added. I'm going in with High Class now, and I'm just gonna add that right here to the to the top of my eyelid, because I'm going to reserve the bottom for like a brighter shade of green. But it's a very fascinating color. It looks like a green, but it also looks gold, and that's why I like that color, and I wanted to incorporate it into this look. And I think that this is just gorgeous. I really, really love the shimmers from the Dirty Martini palette. They've been working so well. And oops, I got some down there, but yeah, they really have been working so well, and you can see that it just kind of blends in with that pink shade that I had put over there. It's really it's just a gorgeous shade, and I've got a little bit of space there which I'm gonna save for like another color that I'm gonna be putting. And now we're going in with Vodkatini, which is a brighter green shimmer, and I'm just putting that there at the corner of my eye and dragging it to fill in that space right over there. You can kind of see that it's similar. It's very similar to the high class shade, which is just above that, because that's kind of more gold tone, but this is more of like a lime green shade. Like when I'm looking at my eyes right now, I can see that it kind of just looks like I've put one shade, and I don't really see a very, very big difference unless I'm coming really, really close and looking at my eyes. Then I'm able to see that there is a difference between this shade and that shade on top. Did grab a highlighter from one of my BPerfect Cosmetics palettes. That's why my eyes look so bright over here. Like, I just love the highlighters in the BPerfect palettes. They're so amazing. I was hoping to just stick to the colors that, you know, I hadn't tried before. I still have two that I need to feature now, which is the orange shade, and there's like a gray kind of shade. I used one of the shades, you know, kind of like to highlight my eyes in one of the previous looks. Like initially when I saw this palette, I was wondering why she had put this pink shade in here, and after trying it, I actually understand why, because it's actually a green toned pink, which is so fascinating. I definitely don't have a color like this, so I'm very, very pleased with the fact that, you know, I have a new color. High Class was you know, kind of like very similar in some ways to Vodkatini, which is, you know, the lime green that I put right over there, and I put High Class right above that, so that's more of like a gold toned green, but also a very beautiful color. So I'm just very, very happy with this. I love how the look has turned out. I'm so excited because we have one more tutorial to go, so let's jump right into that, and then I will give you my final thoughts on, you know, this entire palette and just working with it. Right, so I'm going in with the shade Extra Dirty, and I'm just going to put that at the ends of my eyes. Alright, so I'm just packing that shade right in here, and I'm using a smaller blending brush to just put that color into my crease. I'm not going all the way to the inner corners of my eyes though, so we're just going to stay towards the outside. It's going to be a very, very simple look for the final one. Next, I'm taking the shade Mix It Up, and I'm just putting it right here. And generally it's been pretty easy working with the matte shades. Now I'm just taking a clean blending brush, and I'm just blending it out into the outer corners of my eye. Alright, and now I'm just going in with Gin, and I'm putting that in the center of my eye, just like that. And this is a really, really pretty shade, as you can see. And now for the final shade, I'm going in with Just a Splash, which is this really interesting orange shade that she put in the palette, and it's really, really pretty, and this is the first time I'm using it, and I really like how it's looking so far. Very, very pretty shade. So we are finally done with the 4 tutorial, and this is what I have come up with, and it turned into a teal look again. I couldn't resist going back into those teal shades. I really love them. I wasn't expecting it to look so gold though, because what I was going in with was, you know, Just a Splash, which, as you know, is a gorgeous orange shimmer. So yeah, that was a bit surprising for me, and you can see right over here that it's, you know, very orange, and I really thought that this was going to become like an orange and a teal look, which I thought would be very interesting from this palette, because it's, again, not something you'd expect. Right, so after using the palette, I think it's safe to say that every single one of the shimmers has something to do with a green. You know, even the gold shade, it's kind of like this is the gold one, but it's actually got like green glittery specks in there, and then even the gold, it has something to do with that, and even the pink. So I was really surprised when I was actually trying out the colors. I was thinking like, wow, this is really cool. I have not seen these colors before. I love this shade. I don't think I have this either, and I don't think I have that one. So yeah, honestly, using this palette, I thought that, you know, the shades were really unique. I really like them, and I think that the mattes blended really easily when I was using my brushes. You can see, you know, what it looks like right now. Like, I was able to do my blending as I wanted it, and I was able to deepen the shades, give them the depth that I wanted. So yeah, with the mattes, really happy. The only criticism that I would have is that, you know, the shimmers, they don't seem to last very long. And that's because, like, when I look at my eyes, I see that, you know, some of the shimmers are actually like disappearing. So I actually had to go in and like pack it again with the shades that I had already applied. So that would be like my only criticism. But I do think that if you use, you know, like a setting spray, and then or the NYX glitter glue, and then I think you top that with the shimmers, I think it should actually be fine. I didn't actually do that. I think that this probably had an effect on how long the shimmer shades actually lasted on my eyes. And the first look that I did, I actually, as I mentioned, I wasn't able to complete the look right away. I had to go out for a bit, and by the time I came out, you could see that there were cracks. Like, there were definite cracks, like where my eye had creased, and that was a little disappointing. So I think that, you know, for the next palette that I do, the Margarita one, I definitely want to be using like my NYX glitter glue for all the shimmer shades that I apply to my eyes, because I don't want that creasing to happen. It just makes it look like you haven't applied your makeup properly, and I don't really like it. But all in all, this is such a fantastic palette. I love that I could get so many different shades, and I know that I went back to the teals again, similar to the first look, but you know, I don't know, I love teals. I love that color. So for me, this was a fantastic palette. I think that I really love blues and teals, and you know, that's kind of like my favorite colors when I'm applying them to my eyes. I really love them. So yeah, I have to say that this is a winning palette for me. It is amazing in terms of versatility. You can create, you know, many different looks. If you want to create just a brown toned look, you could do that as well, because, you know, she included that shade Extra Dirty, which is right over here. You could probably pair it with that pink one and the orange, and I think you should be fine. You'll have like a nude look, you know. So as a standalone palette, this actually really wins for me. I think that it's fantastic. In terms of how long the shades last on your eyes, I would say that they do last, but I'm not sure about the shimmers yet, because I need to try my NYX glitter glue method. So I think that, you know, since it's since I've got one more palette coming up, I can probably talk more about that there. But I mean, they're okay. Like, I would say that, you know, the colors are very vibrant, and they just make me smile. They make me happy. I was very excited to use this palette and, you know, to play with it, and I was so happy, like, when I realized that I was creating so many different looks. And I really loved the second one, which was that gorgeous lime green look that I created. I was like, wow, this is gorgeous. I have not done a look like that in a very long time. So yeah, as a palette, this definitely wins. I think it's beautiful. If you like greens, if you like, you know, teals as well, and you want something with nudes, so you basically get all of that in this palette. And yeah, you know, that's pretty much all that I have to say about the palette. I think that it's just it's fantastic. I think that this and the Chocolate Martini palette have made me very happy, and I think that this might be my favorite palette so far. I just really liked the looks that I did, the color combinations, just so happy, and I really liked the looks on the Chocolate Martini as well. But I think it's just the fact that, you know, I love teals. I love this color story, and you know, I just feel that when you look at this palette, it's a lime green, and you don't think that you'd get teals from here. So it's very interesting, you know, that she's put those there. It gives you that variety. It allows you to just explore and see what you can come up with. And I'm pretty sure that if I was doing more looks, I would come up with so many more combinations, because I really think that this palette does have that versatility that I search for and I want in all my palettes. I hope that this has been helpful and informative. I hope that the looks were easy to do. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please subscribe, drop me a comment below, and check out the other Glamlite videos. I will be linking them to this one so that you can, you know, access the other palettes just in case you're interested in seeing those as well. And the Margarita palette will be out soon. Yeah, and this week I have a bit of a surprise for you. I'm doing a collaboration. It's really fun. You're going to see that on my Instagram and yeah, probably YouTube as well. They will be fall inspired, because this is something that I haven't done with anyone before, and I'm really excited to do it. So I shall see you for that and, you know, the Margarita video. And until then, I hope that you just have a wonderful week. Bye.